Hey there, good afternoon, everybody. Um, just wanted to take a moment and touch base with everyone. We are just a little over 30 days away from the wedding, and um, everybody's got their rooms paid off. Everybody has their flights. Really excited to be done with the money collected. um, so now we can move on to actually getting there. So I wanted to talk to everyone today about flights. I'm going to add, I guess, a table of contents of sort to this video. I know I get to be a little long-winded sometimes, but I'm gonna put the table of contents in there so that you can skip to certain sections that you may need to listen to. So today, just want to touch base on flights since flights are finally done. So, what I want to make sure everybody does is take note of what your confirmation number is. It might be called a record locator, but you should have some type of confirmation number from when you booked your flights. You will need that when you get to the airport. Um, I recommend that everyone download the app for the airline that you're traveling on. I know I got some of my older generations, come in and you might not be, down with all the apps and whatnot, but that app will be extremely helpful for you with your flight. One, it will allow you to check in. Um, you will be able to have your boarding pass located within the app. Um, and you also can make changes, keep up with any time changes, gate changes, that type of stuff. The app will give you firsthand access to that. And it's usually pretty user friendly. So I definitely recommend that everyone download your app. At least somebody in your traveling group should have it. Okay. Now, 48 hours to 24 hours before you are scheduled to fly out is when you will be able to check in. Very important, especially if you're traveling on Southwest Airlines, to check in as soon as that window opens. How soon you check in determines your spot in line with Southwest. So um, I'm not sure. It just varies on flights. Sometimes at 48 hours ahead of time you can check in. Sometimes you got to wait till 24 hours. So I would check at the 48-hour mark. If you're not able to check in, then check again at 24 hours and you definitely will be able to check in within 24 hours of your flight. Okay. All right. Now, also in relationship to your flight, um, we're going to another country, and typically when you go to another country, you have to fill out an immigrations and customs form, letting them know if you're bringing excessive amounts of money uh, and goods there. I don't think anyone is coming with excessive amounts of money or goods. Um, but there is an electronic form that you have to fill out. It used to be that when you were on the plane, they would hand out this little paper form and you would fill it out and have it ready for once you got off the plane and went through immigrations and customs. In Jamaica, they have made it online now. So you need to go online and fill out your immigrations form. And you can do that now. I would go ahead and do that now. And once you complete that process, you will get an email confirmation. Make sure you save that. All of our email services have some kind of way to mark an email as important. You either star it or something like that so that you can easily go back to it. You want to star that confirmation. You want to star your flight confirmation so that that's something you can go back to and get really quickly. Okay. Um, I do have a link on the Facebook event page to the immigrations form. Okay. I also have a video. These videos that I'm doing, I have created a playlist of different videos. So some of them might apply and you need to watch, some of them might not. I do have a video on completing that immigration form. So if you're having trouble with that, there's a video that you can watch that will actually walk you through that process. Um, yeah. So talked about the online immigration form. Need to print and save. talked about checking in for the flights. Okay. What's next? Baggage policies. So every airline is different. So we got 4 different airlines folks are flying in on. Southwest is the easiest because 2 bags fly free. Um, Typically, carry-on bags need to be no more than 22 inches tall. Um, you can double check with your airline, but that's typically around the range for a carry-on bag. Um, the other caveat with the carry-on bag is, one, you have to keep that bag with you, navigate it through the airport, be able to get it up into the overhead storage area and get that out. Um, that comes along with that carry-on bag, but also you have restrictions on what you can take in that bag. So if you're only taking a carry-on bag, know that you have a limitation on liquids. And let me expand that, because it's not just liquids. Liquids is gels, creams, paste. Aerosols are also included in that. You cannot have a container that is more than 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters. Okay, that's the max. 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters. And you should be able to fit all of those containers into a quart-sized Ziploc bag. Okay, now they're not usually that strict about the Ziploc bag, but the point is they want to limit how much liquids you are taking on the plane with you in your carry-on luggage. So don't have, half your suitcase full of little bottles, because then you're going to have an issue when you get to the airport. Another thing that you can't have in your carry-on, any firearms, knives of any sizes, straight razors, tasers, pepper spray, brass knuckles, any type of tool that can kind of be used as a weapon. Like sometimes they might say, I like to have cuticle cutters. I typically make sure I don't put those in my carry-on, just in case it's an issue. So just make sure you're being very thoughtful about what you're packing in a carry-on bag. Okay. Now, all of the airlines outside, with the exception of Frontier, do allow you a free carry-on and a free personal item. So a personal item is something like a purse, a laptop bag, a small backpack, a personal item. It's not a suitcase. A suitcase is not a personal item. So that's the limitations for that. With a checked bag, typically that the checked bag can definitely be larger. Again, you can check with the airlines for the specifics on dimensions for bags, but with the checked bag, you can put what you want in there. So I know, like, with us, people of color, we got a lot of hair products and stuff sometimes. So if you got hair products and, different stuff like that that you need to bring, I would suggest that you get a checked bag. Okay. There is an additional charge for a checked bag. It varies for the airline. You can check on your app to see what they're charging for a checked bag. But just wanted to make everyone aware of that. There are also weight limitations. So a carry-on is typically between 35 and 40 pounds, and a checked bag is usually between 40 and 55 pounds max weight that it can be. I suggest weighing it. I have a scale that I keep with me. They do have scales at most of the airports where you can check your bag before you get up there. But I recommend doing that so you're not hit with oversized bag fees or overweight bag fees once you get to the airport. Okay, so we talked about our bags. Now, day of travel. All right. We're going to check in. We've checked in for our flight. You want to double check that app the day that you're flying out. Make sure there hasn't been any delays or anything. You should be able to get your boarding passes once you check in. And what I suggest, yes, your boarding passes will be there in that app. But what I like to do is take a screenshot of that boarding pass. That way you have a picture of it in your phone, and it doesn't matter if you have good service or not, because sometimes you get up to security and you don't have good service and you can't pull up your boarding pass in your app. So if you use the mobile boarding pass, be sure to take a screenshot of it so that you have a picture of that in your phone to use when you go through, just in case you have shoddy service going through the airport. Okay, so talked about that. It's an international flight, and you should be at the airport 3 hours before takeoff. That's the suggestion. At least 3 hours before the before takeoff for your flight. So plan ahead. Are you driving? Do you want to do park and ride? Are you scheduling Uber or Lyft or something like that for a ride to the airport? Make sure you have that set up and in place already to get you to that airport 3 hours before your flight. You don't want to get there. It's a bunch of lines, especially if you don't have TSA pre-check or clear or something that helps you to get into one of these fast track lanes. Make sure that you're not cutting it close and thinking it's better to be at that airport and wait a little while than to be there and you're trying to run through that freaking airport and you end up missing your flight. So 3 hours before, you need to be there. If you have difficulty walking or any kind of issues like that, I know a lot of my older family members are coming. You can request wheelchair assistance. And wheelchair assistance is great because they escort you through the airport. When you get there and when you get off the flight, they'll be there with the wheelchair, to come and help you and take you to your next gate. So I have set that up, I know, for my grandmother, and I set that up for my sister-in-law. So, I got two folks, three folks altogether that I've set up wheelchair assistance for. So if you think that's something that you need, please, it's no additional charge for that. Go ahead and do that. And then you have someone to help you through the airport. And it typically gets you bypassed in a lot of the lines because they typically don't make those folks wait in the line. And your immediate family can come with you. So make sure if that's something you need that you take care of that as well. So when you get to the airport, if you need to check a bag, you're going to have to print out your luggage tags. You can go to one of the kiosks for your airline. And when you go to that kiosk, that's where that confirmation number is going to come in. You type in that confirmation number, it'll pull you up. And at that time, it's going to ask you about bags. You can pay for bags at that time, or you can pay ahead of time, but you will get those luggage tags from the kiosk. You also have the option to wait in line and go up to a customer service agent, but that typically takes a lot longer. So I suggest you go to the kiosk. You can print out your luggage tags. And if you're old school or you just want to have a paper backup, you can also print boarding passes at that kiosk as well. So that's your first stop when you get to the airport, all right? And then once you do that, you want to drop off any bags that you're checking and then proceed to security. Security can, it just varies. It can take you a while to get through security. That's why they tell you to get there at least 3 hours ahead of time. Have shoes that are easy to come off because you will need to remove your shoes when you're going through the security checkpoint. So shoes that are easy to come off and on, especially if you got a little one traveling with you. You don't want to be tying up shoes and all of that mess. So just be prepared for that. And just emphasize again about the liquids. You can't have your water bottle with you. All right? Don't get up to the security thing, arguing with these folks. No, you can't take your water bottle, okay? You're going to have to get water again once you go through security if you brought water with you. You got your coffee with you. No, you can't take it through. So you need to consume any liquids that you have before you go through security, okay? I typically like to take an empty water bottle with me and then refill it at a water station once I get through security. But you can't take it, all right? All right, just be real careful about what you have in your carry-on bags. They'll take your perfume out. They'll take your lotions out. They'll take your toothpaste out, and throw it away. So be sure that you're mindful of your limitations of what you can take into that carry-on bag, because I know I got some new time folks out here. Okay. Talked about the kiosk, dropping off the bags. All right. So once you get on your flight, um, and get to Jamaica. Once you get off the plane, what you're going to do is head through immigrations and customs. That's your first stop. Um, that can take a while. It might, take you up to an hour, possibly, depending on how busy it is, if you're on a busy day, to get through the whole immigrations and customs process. Now, Montego Bay Airport has something called Club Mobay, and I will have a link on our Facebook event page for this, okay? But Club Mobay is basically an airport lounge. But what's cool is that on arrival, you can get a meet and greet service. And what they will do is it will be someone waiting at the gate. Once you get off the plane, they'll have a sign holding your name, and they'll fast track you through customs and immigration. So that is an option. If you would like to do that, it's $50 a person for that. That's their arrival meet and greet service. Okay. Again, I'll have a link posted that you can use to sign up for that if that's something that you're interested in purchasing. They also typically on arrival, you don't really do like a lounge service, but for Jamaica, they have that. So when you arrive, they would take you there, take you through customs, do all of that good stuff. And then you have access to their lounge, which has a full bar. They have food available there at no charge. And you would be able to, relax there until your airport transfer is ready to take you to the resort. So that is an option if you're interested in it. Now, on return home, they also have departure service. The departure service is only $35 per person. There's no meet and greet with that. That just allows you access to the lounge. So again, when you come back, you're going to have to be at that airport 3 hours before. So if you have downtime, you get to relax in the lounge instead of, the typical waiting area at the airport. If you have Priority Pass or Diners Club that gives you access to lounges, that will work for departure service only. It does not give you access to that arrival meet and greet service. If you would like to use it for departure, typically we just go in because I have the Priority Pass myself. But with them, you have to make a reservation because they want to make sure that they got enough space for everyone. And they charge you a reservation fee of $5 per person. So if you have Priority Pass or Diners Club or a membership with Club Mobay, be sure to still reserve your departure service, okay? So that's Club Mobay. Once you get, now if you don't do the arrival meet and greet service, once you get through immigrations and customs, what you want to do is head to baggage claim. If you checked any bags, you would go to baggage claim to retrieve your luggage. And then once you're done with that, you're going to head to ground transportation, and that's where you'll find your airport transfers to the resort. I will be sending everyone itinerary of everything that you have, your hotel, your transfers, that good stuff, your flights. That will come to you from me. So be sure that you take a look at that, and I would print it out as well and have it with you. I got instructions on there for the transfers and whatnot. You're not going to have typical access to me while you're traveling because I will already be in Jamaica, okay? And I'm not, going to be fielding calls on where I go, where was that at again. So make sure that you print out the information that I'm sending to you so that you have access to that when you arrive, so you know where to find your transportation to the resort. Okay. I think that is pretty much everything regarding flights. There is the ride to the resort is going to be between 45 minutes to an hour to get you to the resort. So that's the time frame for that, just so that you're prepared. Be sure to have some small bills on you for tips for anybody that helps you with your luggage. That's going and coming. just be prepared for that as well for your transfers to tip your driver. So please have just a few dollars on you for that so you're not caught off guard by that. But I believe that's everything I wanted to talk about for the flights. Uh, Looking forward to seeing everyone in Jamaica for the wedding. If you have any questions, let me know. And I think that's about it. All right. I'll be touching base with y'all again when we get closer, just to, make sure everybody's all on the same page with everything. But just reach out if you have any questions. Love y'all. Look forward to seeing y'all soon in Jamaica.